Alright, so today's video we're going to be using this coil spring. I've made one of these already, put it on my Facebook. It was a big hit. 4 or 5 people want one of the damn things, which I'm not going to make them for probably, but we'll see what happens. I'm just too busy with overtime. I'm going to use this coil spring. I've already got it cleaned up with the wire wheel, about as good as I can. I'm going to have to get the wire brush in there. It came off of a lot of grease on it. Got my cut railroad spike here. It's going to end up being for the tail. Kind of looking at these one day, decided they're going to be a nice wiener dog, so I think they worked out really well. The difference is I used a fireplace shovel last time and used the shovel part of that as the face. This one I think I'm just going to have to use some plate still, because I've been looking around. I don't have another fireplace shovel. I got these springs off of Facebook for $5 a piece. I bought 4 of them, and I haven't come across anything else to use as a face yet. So I'm probably just going to cut one up. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. That's what we got going on this project. And I'll use some little railroad spikes as his feet, legs. And it's a really simple project here. The biggest part of it is just the painting of it. So, yeah. Alright, so right now I took what I do when I'm doing the little wiener dog here. Put in the vise, and I'll take this first coil and I'll cut it. I'll angle it up just a little bit. You see it doesn't really match the rest of them. That gives him a decent little, like he's looking up. Just kind of something stupid minute like that makes a little bit of difference when you're doing this stuff. Right now I've got his feet cut, his tail cut and cleaned up, and really that's all the parts until I figure out what's going to be the face, which I'll probably just cut with some sheet metal that I have. That's pretty much where we're at right now with it. Just kind of start putting it together and then create the face, and it's a pretty simple little wiener dog. We have the start of him. Got his little legs tacked on there. He's got his little tail on there. What I did to get his face here, I got a piece of sheet metal, nice and rusty as usual, and just kind of took him, set him onto coils there. Just made a nice little trace right around the loop, so it'll be a nice decent size, same size as his head is. I just kind of leave, well, probably a good 1.5 inches right at the bottom there, so you got a little bit of curvature. Took my straight edge, put a line across the center here, and just kind of eyeball a couple straight lines. And you don't have to stay with it straight, by no means at all. You can't barely tell, but I can see where I drew. You just got your little piece of tube in there that'll give it a little bit of roundness, but you can just do that with your angle grinder anyhow once you cut the head part of it out. I am going to cut this with the angle grinder just because it's actually quite what I'm used to. And then we'll see what it looks like once it's put on there and we give him some eyeballs and some ears. So when you're cutting round out of something plate, for those of you who don't know, what you're going to want to do is you just make a series of straight cuts right along your line. You'll leave little parts out. Get the straight cuts, and that'll kind of get it right out of the center of that plate you're working with, right? And that's going to work out well, because now all you got to do is come back. Where am I at here? You're just going to take off that next straight cut, next straight cut, next straight cut, or you can just use your grinding wheel and just take it right off there. It's not a big deal. Then you actually have your round head by just a series of square cuts. So far, we have a decent looking little wiener dog, I think. Got his face cleaned up, got it on there. His little leggies. I should have probably held off away from the coil a little bit, but actually, I think it looks pretty good. For his ears, I got this piece here I've kind of found somewhere. I think it goes garden tractor. I have no clue. I'm not even going to guess. But I think it would make a good little wiener dog ear. So that's what I'm going to use. Go ahead and cut it here, 4 places. Probably round the corners off and see what it looks like. I'm thinking that's the ticket right there. So right now I think those ears turned out great. One thing I do try and do is, even though those ears are just kind of little critters, there's a big ugly hole or something like that, like on top of the ear right there. I'll just kind of fill that in with weld and take the grinder, grind it flush. Same with the eyes, you know, I mean, you're not going to get a full real weld on something like that. You just put a goober on there, and then you'll take your grinder, or, you know, I do use a couple different types of cut wheels on these. I use a nice thin, gotta use the parts that come with the grinder to keep them on there. Or this is another cutting wheel. It's kind of screwed on there, but it's thicker. Well, this one you can kind of use as like a little grinder if needed. And my flap disc, my wire wheel, and grinding disc. There's a nice used up grinding disc. Got a nice assortment, so different wheels, discs, whatever you want to call them, come in handy for different applications. So for something like this, you know, for the eyeballs there, I'll probably use this cut disc. It's thick enough you can use it as a little grinder. It's reinforced. It's not going to break to shit on you. And it'll get that, you know, cleaned up enough to where it looks okay and presentable. So other than that, I mean, I'm pretty sure our little wiener dog's damn near done. The wife was kind of making fun of his tail. So I might cheat and use my torch to bend it a little bit. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say is the X'd out eyes. You know, my wife's a Tim Burton fan. So I made her a little dead wiener dog. The first one I made was someone who had a wiener dog with one eye. So it had one nut and one X'd out eye. So that gave the wife the idea of having a little dead wiener dog. So I guess we have a Frankenweenie that's a cartoon, but whatever. Typically I just use a 1/2 inch nut. Be about perfect for the eyeballs on that. And yeah, so I'll get them all cleaned up and we'll show you the final process. And I think he's a great little project, really simple for anyone to do. Because I think it's been like a full week or week and a half. I've been waiting for the wife to paint this, but we did go on a little vacation, and so now we get the finished touches of our wiener dog here. So she's gonna make it into a little zombie. I think he turned out pretty good for what he is. It's a little coil spring wiener dog. So there you have him. I hope you enjoyed the project. It was nice and simple. I think I kept the video fairly short. And happy wiener dogging. There's my little birdie. Once again, didn't make a video of him. But he's pretty simple. Most of the things I do are. But I was kind of liking the skill saw blades. Alright. Have fun.